Welcome to another video. Today I want to show you how I build these two side tables for my patio furniture. I have a friend that does custom furniture, and every now and then he does projects involving other kinds of woods. And this time he was working doing some custom furniture with white oak, but it was the dirty kind, the one that has a lot of defects and nuts. So he had a lot of wood left and he gave it to me. So that's actually the kind of wood, or that's actually the wood that I'm gonna be using for these side tables. And as you'll see, there's a lot of different pieces that I'll be cutting because I had to remove a lot of the defects and kind of use the more or the better wood as much as I could. So I had to cut everything apart and then glue these pieces together to make the legs, I guess you could say. No, I'm not gluing them all together like a cutting board. I'm just, I guess, pressing them together. But once the glue is dry, as you'll see here, then they'll all come apart. By doing it like this, it's gonna save me time and more clamps, I guess. By doing it like this, once the glue is dry, I'll just remove the dried up glue with the scraper before passing them through the planer. Once they're nice and plain, I'll clean up one side of all of them because on the other side I'll be cutting them with the miter corners. Now, as you'll see in the near future, these were not perfectly square, so I'm gonna have to come up with something to make sure I get it to get them squared, I guess. At this point, I still don't own a dominant joiner, so to make my miter stronger, I'm actually gonna be using splines, and for the splines, I'll be using 1/4 inch Baltic birch. This is gonna make sure that my miters are stronger than they would otherwise. And as you can see up until now, it's not a very complicated process. If you think methodically before you do anything, it pretty much works itself out. It's not very complicated, I don't think. I mean, this is my first time doing side tables, and I think I'm doing pretty good. I don't have so much as plans or anything like that. I just, before I do every step, I think about it, think what complications am I gonna face, about the spacing, about everything, and it works out. So don't be afraid to mess around and do it yourself, because you can. I believe in you. I mean, I believe in me, I think. So I believe in you too. Not YouTube, you too. And we're at that point now. Like I told you before, I didn't get the I I didn't square these pieces very good, so they're not very squared. So When they came off the clamps, they were a little wobbly. So by sticking them with double-sided tape to this piece of plywood, the plywood is square. So I'm gonna run that through the table saw using the plywood to the fence and making sure I get a square. And I'm gonna do that with all the pieces, making sure they're all the same. And this is gonna help me make sure that they're all square. You'll see what I mean. Now, I haven't seen anybody do this before. I know when you're trying to square something off, and if you run it against the fence, is you're just gonna get the same unevenness. So by doing it like this, it ensures that the plywood is flat, so you're not running something that's crooked through the fence. Um, I don't know. Let me know in the comments if this is something you guys have seen before, um, or anybody else has done this, or I guess everybody might be just perfect and gets them square the first time. So I'm not that guy. I correct my mistakes, I guess. And now it's time to cut all the slats that are gonna be on top of the side table. I don't know exactly what they're called. Planks, the pieces of wood, the flat pieces of white oak, the ones that go on top, the ones that run linear. You'll see what I mean. And also the ones that run horizontal that hold all the planks together. So this is what I'm doing here, and you'll see a little bit more clear. I don't know what the word is for all the parts, so forgive me if I just say the piece that goes over the piece that holds the other piece. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just trying it out. As you can see, to make sure I get the correct spacing and it doesn't look all awkward and uneven, I cut spacers from the scraps of wood that I had to make sure they're the same. So once I space them correctly, I put the piece that holds the other pieces down like this. It's a little tight, but it's perfect. Once I do this, I'm gonna mark where I'm gonna drill the holes and make sure I get them even on the first time. Because if I just drill the screws through, well, it's gonna look ugly and you don't want to see the screws. So this is the way I'm doing it. And once I do that to one side, I just copy more or less where the other side is gonna be so that I can drill the holes kind of in the same place. Now, I forgot to record here, so I did this, but this is how I did it. First, I did it with the drill press, and then I just used a normal drill bit to bring it all the way through. And that's how it turned out. Now, I'm gonna drive a screw from the other end to hold this piece there. And this is how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna drill a hole first here on each side, which later I'm gonna use a plug to cover it. Now this hole is where I'm gonna send the screw in through. Now you know where we're going. Now I pre-drilled the hole because the last thing you do is after all this work when you put the screw in that it will split the wood. I don't know that it will, but I don't wanna risk it. Now at this point I'm only using glue to put the screws that are gonna hold this piece in, but not to the slots. To the slots I'm gonna be adding one at a time and adding glue to each one to make sure that I put them exactly where they go. And it's kind of difficult to put glue on all of them and screw them down all of them at the same time. So I first did the horizontal slots. Then as you can see here, I'm gonna do one at a time, because since I already pre-drilled the pilot holes, the screws are gonna go in exactly at the right spacing, and I don't need to use the spacers anymore or anything like that. So it's a lot easier. And this is what it looks like after all the slots have been screwed in. And in case you're wondering, I'm just using regular screws. I'm not using stainless steel or anything. These side tables are actually inside an enclosed patio, so there's no need to go fancy with stainless steel screws. And this is kind of what they're gonna look like. I mean, they're pretty much complete. I still need to put the plugs on the holes on the side, which I'm gonna do now. I have this little bit that I don't even know where I got it that cuts the plugs, the wooden plugs of the same material so they look the same. And it's pretty neat. It's smoky too. Smoking hot. And once the plugs have been installed, cut back, and sanded down, it's gonna be time to apply some finish. Okay, so I gotta admit, for the first round of finish, obviously I cleaned them up and applied white, cotton white, what's it called? Cotton white, Rubio monocoat thingy. And they look pretty good, but you can use this for your benefit and don't make the same mistake as I did. See how they turn out. I mean, again, this is white oak with cotton white Rubio monocoat, and to me they look pretty good. Actually, if your furniture is white, they look really good. But as you're gonna see, once you put them next to my furniture, which is not cotton white, they look weird. So take a look. This is, again, this is cotton white Ruby monocoat. And let's take a look how they turn out, how they look next to my furniture. But enjoy, see how they look before I put them next to my furniture. Again, I think they look really good. Pretty good, really good. Okay, you ready? You ready? Uh, they look weird, don't you? Don't you think? They look weird. So, my wife didn't like them either. I didn't like them. So I went back, sanded them down, and then applied a different finish. I applied, what's it called? Danish varnish, oil, tarnish, that thing you see right there. But it's pure. There's no color to it, so it's just natural. And I think it looks better. It looks a lot better. And you'll see the difference as well once I put them next to my furniture. And guys, I hope you guys are enjoying this. I hope I earned your subscription. I would really appreciate it. It helps me a lot. Here's how they look by themselves. Again, use this for your advantage. See if you like cotton white or just pure. And this is how they look next to my furniture. And now they look good. Now they look really good. So, thanks for watching, guys. I hope I earned your subscription and see you later.